All right. So today's question is from Ekaterina Howard. She asked which skills in our experience are the most valuable for a B2B SaaS copywriter. So I came up with a list along with Andrew. I think we've got like 9 or 10 different items that we'll go through. So these are all things that at least I think a B2B SaaS copywriter should be able to do, especially if you want to be able to charge top rates and get hired by some of the top brands out there. Number one for me, I just kind of listed this as one category, table stakes. So these are the things that I think you absolutely have to have, whereas the others you can have, various levels of familiarity. So for me, table stakes is actually being able to write copy. I'm sure we both have experience of people emailing us wanting to do some work for us as a subcontractor. We ask them for some examples of their work, and it's clear that they haven't even figured out how to write yet. And so I just don't think you're going to have much luck if you can't string together some good sentences that are persuasive. And for me, the other one, and Andrew, you brought this one up, was psychology. I don't think you have to go to school for psychology. You don't need to be a psych major, but you absolutely need to pick up on what drives human beings, how they make decisions, what motivates them, and so on. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. I mean, I think you said, were you a psychology major or
Yeah, I
you
did
said,
psych
yeah,
and
me too.
physiology, so I was all about the human.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a psych major too, but I totally agree. It's not something that you need to know really well, but like another thing just on top of what you said, like just sort of understanding all the different biases that are always at play. I think anyone who's been doing copy for a little while understands, or sales, that we are not completely rational beings. And so we have all of these heuristics and biases that help us make decisions or sometimes help us make the wrong decision. And as people who are trying to influence behavior, we need to be aware of what some of those most powerful ones are, and even the more subtle ones too.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the case for you, but I remember when I was actually in university studying psychology, I could list out like all of the biases and give you the definitions. Whereas now I feel like it's more of a feeling. Like the biases like inform my writing. I can spot them, but I can't necessarily name them. Is that the same for you as the years have gone by?
Yeah, I think so. And I also get to a point where I almost like stop explaining them to my clients of like, okay, so one that comes to mind, and I do know the name, but like one is called like temporal discounting, where you're basically like the longer you have to wait for a reward, the less valuable you see it as. So, if I told you
Hmm.
like, hey, Josh, I'm going to send you, $100 today, you're gonna be really excited. If I tell you I'm going to send you $100 in 3 years, you're just not going to feel as excited. And so, yeah, sure, I know the name of that one, but I'm not thinking like, okay, I need to exploit or consider temporal discounting right now. I'm just thinking like, okay, how can I, we're getting close to the end of the page. How can I show them how close they are to getting this value? So
Yeah,
again, these are, yeah, I fully agree. It's things that get baked into your knowledge. It just becomes part of your knowledge. It becomes second nature when you're writing copy. Yeah, I'm definitely not thinking through that, like the list of all of the different what was the book that's like super famous, thinking and fast and slow with
yeah,
Kahneman.
yep.
And yeah, so like you don't have to read that whole book, but it might be a good idea to like go check out a YouTube summary of it and just like understand all of these little bugs in our operating systems. And just another book that we talked about before was Influence, Cialdini's
Hmm.
Influence. It's a really famous book for marketers and salespeople. Again, just like helping you understand what influences decision making, how do people make choices.
For sure. Yeah, and that'll help you spot some of those like dead sentences and paragraphs where it's like I feel like this can be working a little bit harder, and that's where you bring in some of these biases, but obviously not by name, just by feel, as unsatisfying as it is to say that, but that's the way it is.